Ordinary homes, extraordinary happenings. Living with the dead. Britain's most haunted houses go under the spotlight as our crack team of psychics go face to face with the evil that lurks within.
Leave my house!
Sensitive Johnny Fiore, exorcist Ian Lawman, and paranormal investigator Stephen Griffiths embark on their spine-chilling quest to get rid of uninvited house guests.
It was the talk of the village that the manor house was always known to be haunted.
What the f*** was that?
Somebody was really frightened in this room.
I feel f***ing scared.
Fight them, Stephen. Fight them for me. I ask of you to leave this soul alone.
Dorset and the sleepy village of Langton Herring, home of the Manor House, an 18th century property belonging to Julie Sparks and her children Lucy, Daniel and Stephen. Julie inherited the house 20 years ago, but prior to that it had stood empty for 40 years as Julie's mother-in-law couldn't bear to be there.
The manor house has been in the Sparks' family for about 300 years, and it's been passed down through the generations till today.
I'm not too keen on the house. I've never been keen on it since I was a little girl. The house freaks me out because of all the experiences my family have had here.
And those experiences were all too frequent once they moved into the manor house and begun renovations.
We had builders in, and they used to start their work, and then within about half an hour, 20 minutes, they're telling me that their electric power tools were not working anymore.
Machinery would cut out, tools just totally stopped working. No reason, can't give an explanation, can't give an explanation. And then it would just start back up again. It's an almost like something or someone or somebody was almost like trying to stop you progressing.
I felt that they wanted the house as it was before we started to disturb things.
It would drive you to, I'd say near madness, complete madness, I would.
Since then, other strange things have happened in the house.
The pictures would be perfect on the wall, and then you would come down the following day and the picture might be turned upside down, or actually off of the wall, actually on the floor.
A picture would come off the wall in the study, and we'd go in and put it back up, and then we'd come, as soon as we sit back down again, it would drop down on the floor. A very active house, that's for sure.
Stephen believes this activity has taken on a more physical form.
As I woke up, right at the foot of my bed, end of my bed, was an apparition, or maybe, no, not an apparition, it was a gentleman stood there. He didn't talk, didn't say anything, he just stood there. I've seen this apparition of a gentleman, I would say, maybe 30 or 40 times, and it wouldn't be just a case of upstairs. You'd see him downstairs, you'd see him out in the kitchens. You know, you'd just get a pint of milk from your fridge, you shut the door on the fridge there, and you'd have an apparition stood there, and it would just, it's enough to like drop the pint of milk where you stood.
One particular incident Lucy will never forget.
Well, that night, I remember it really well. We all heard a scream, and it was Daniel, and he was shaking, and he said, you know, he saw a dark figure at the end of his bed.
As soon as this entity was going to jump, sort of, it felt like it was going to come into me. I bolted upright out of my bed, screamed for Mum, and as all this is happening, look, this is split seconds, you know, my window just goes, it literally flies open. And I knew something was coming to get me. I didn't know what it was, but something was definitely coming to get me. I mean, whatever it was, I don't know. And we used to get like crows tapping at the window up there and stuff, and that was probably the darkest place for me.
And they weren't the only vermin to be found at the house.
We noticed an influx in flies. The flies were unbelievable, and I mean flies, blue bottle flies, as big as your thumbnail. And we just couldn't seem to shift them. They just wouldn't go.
Stephen also believes he's seen a child at the property.
I was having a bath and I opened the door and there was this young girl that ran up through our main hallway passage, and she ran right up the stairs. Now I thought we had guests in the house at that point. And I was like, Mother, I went downstairs, I said, Mother, we got guests in the house? She went, no. She went, there's nobody in the house at all. And I was like, well, I've just seen a little girl. I said, no, I'll tell you something, that frightened the life out of me. We've had people that have said they've seen a young girl on our grounds of the manor, i.e. in the gardens, down on the main driveway there, down towards like the stream, up on the top part of the garden, up by the main boundary wall.
Julie believes that one of the entities has even tried to inflict harm upon her.
I had one incident that was in the stairs when I was coming down the stairs and I felt like I was pushed and I ended up falling the rest of the way. That is one of the areas where most people have felt any kind of presence in the hallway of the stairs.
The activity got so bad for Julie that she couldn't take it any longer.
I felt the spirits did drive me away from the manor house. I felt that we were not wanted. I actually vacated it for about 17 years.
I've lived around the world, I've lived in a few places, but this place always draws you back, it really does.
When I do return, I always ask the house if it's okay for me to come back, always.
Although they return to the house, the stress of these incidents has taken its toll on the family.
We're all like at each other's throats, this, that and the other, everyone's arguing and shouting and screaming and fighting.
I ended up collapsing in the garden and I ended up with meningitis, which was, well, they didn't know whether I was going to survive it. I felt that the house had done that, made me ill.
I've experienced some stuff in here that is enough to, I think enough to make any man go mental. And that's true. That's absolutely true.
With such powerful and menacing presences believed to be living in the house, what does Julie want from this investigation?
Maybe whatever is occupying the house is not at peace, and hopefully that when the mediums are here, that they can put these ghosts or entities to rest. That's what I would like.
What I would like to get out of the seance would be, there's one word for it, it's peace.
In order to help, the Living with the Dead team must first spend the night alone at the house in search of any supernatural activity. As Julie and her children move out for the evening, the team moves in. First to arrive is paranormal investigator Stephen Griffiths.
Well, I'm really excited about this place. Already I'm picking up smells and bumps and bangs from upstairs. There's nothing unusual about the EMF readings, nothing unusual at all. And the temperature's around about 7 to 10. So it'd be quite interesting what's happening in tonight.
Stephen examines the house further. In particular, he's interested in the long family history of the property.
It's rare for any house to be inhabited by the same family over 300 years, which causes a lot of residual energies, a lot of build-ups, what causes sort of a static through the house and energy, and it's just really good environment for the spirits and ghosts to exist.
Once Stephen has carried out his initial examination of the property, Johnny Fiore and Ian Lawman arrive. Before they begin